Begin with, we have this concept of the people from other planets as little green men. Are they green from what you know? Are they all the same? Help us out.
Unfortunately, they're not so benevolent.
A fucking alien.
What's good? Welcome here at 51 here with your host Jimmy, another day in the jungle. Give us a like, subscribe, and also become part of our community here in Golden Era. You're going to learn about news stories and everything, the best analysis when it relates to boxing. And you can also check our website, goldeneraboxing.com, for more news and stories. All right, let's get to it. So, it was really sad what's going on in the sport of boxing. As we all know, Ryan Garcia lost the fight against Gervonta Davis. It was a fight where Gervonta Davis clearly dominated. He knew how to box Ryan in a very well. He was smart about it, and he knew how to contain Ryan. Ryan came with a wrong game plan and probably didn't even have the necessary style to beat this man. But, this is boxing. What you going to do about it? Either way, Ryan went to the press conference, and he was literally by himself. There was nobody there to support him. There was no Oscar De La Hoya. There was no Ryan Hopkins. There was no Joe Gossen, which was kind of a little bit shocking because you tend to have your trainer with you. At least if your promoter's not there, which I've seen a few times, your trainer tends to be with you. He wasn't there. Only his family was there with him, and that actually was pretty sad. And something that I always tell people is, listen, at the end of the day, Ryan had a decision to make. He said he wanted to fight against Gervonta Davis, okay? You might think he's going to lose against Gervonta Davis, and that's fine. That's up to you. It's your opinion, and it's just an opinion. Sometimes you can win, sometimes you lose. This is the sport of boxing. However, this shows that when a fighter wants to fight and a promoter doesn't want to fight, the promoter will abandon the fighter if he feels like he's not following his tips. Because Oscar De La Hoya did not want this fight to happen. Oscar De La Hoya did not want Ryan Garcia to fight Gervonta Davis. He had said it a few times before. He reiterated the point a few times after, and he just never wanted to fight. He believed in Ryan in the sense that if Ryan won, then Oscar De La Hoya was going to back him up, and he was going to be in stage, and everything was going to be cool and dandy. And unfortunately, after this loss, Oscar De La Hoya has said that they're not gonna support Ryan anymore. Why? Because his superstar is gone. Ryan was the only superstar that Oscar De La Hoya had. Golden Boy has been a fiasco. It's been nothing but fighters who avoid each other, like Virgil Ortiz and other fighters, or just keep avoiding other American fighters. And Ryan decided to do something good for the sport of boxing. So even though you might not like Ryan, you got to support Ryan, because Ryan is one of the reasons why we can make these fights, okay? Ryan is the type of fighter that says, I'm in control of who I want to fight with, which is the truth in the end. It's the fighter who makes up making that decision. It's not the promoter, it's the fighter. The fighter makes a decision. The promoter can choose the fighter, but the fighter is the one who makes the final call. Yes, I want this fight. No, give me a different fight. The promoter has no other option than to find him a different fight, okay? And Ryan wanted the beef. He wanted the stoke, and he said, you know what? Give me Gervonta Davis. The fight was made. Yes, there were rehydration clauses. There were all these stupid demands, which I think, I think it's just stupid to put these demands, because it's only going to lower the credibility of Gervonta. It doesn't affect Ryan if he wins. It affects Gervonta Davis. However, the fight was made, and Ryan said that everything is going to be okay, whether there was a rehydration clause or no. He said he was going to be fine, so you got to take his word for it. But the fact that he lost we're not in a position in boxing right now to start calling these fighters who are losing bums, because a lot of these fighters who are taking the risk, they're taking the losses as well. If you fight everybody, bro, you're going to end up losing. The records in boxing are hyper-inflated. There shouldn't be a lot of people with 0 records, and we see a lot. If this was old school boxing, most of these people would have at least a couple losses, or at least 1 loss already in their resume, okay? This is what UFC, what we see in the records of UFC, that's how the records of boxing should be. And Ryan Garcia losing against Gervonta Davis, there's nothing wrong with that. And you can't insult Ryan, because insulting Ryan, what that's going to do is that it's going to set is going to set a pattern, a stage where other boxers are seeing this and saying, you know what? Look how people are reacting to Ryan's loss. I'm not going to take the risk against Gervonta Davis. I'm not fighting this guy. Gervonta Davis sees how Ryan Garcia was abandoned, or Vasily Lomachenko was abandoned, or Deontay Wilder was abandoned for some people who supported and then they abandoned him. They see this shit. They don't want to take the fights because they're afraid they're going to lose all popularity, and the promoters know that. So you got to support Ryan. It's unbelievable what Joe Gossen, who's been training with Ryan for a long time, he wasn't even there. I mean, that is disgusting. I have no appreciation for Joe. I can't believe actually Joe Gossen would do something like that. Joe Gossen, in my opinion, I mean, he gave bad instructions to Ryan to start with, but you got to be there with your fighter, man. That was bad. That was bad what they did to Ryan. That was real bad. And I feel bad for Ryan because he was taking all these questions. There was nobody there with him. And to what extent? It's Ryan Garcia, yeah, he lost. Let's go ahead and look for the next star we can make. If this is the sport of boxing, we got to start calling out these promoters who are doing this shit, and we got to start putting pressure on these fighters who are not taking the fights. And you got to be more lenient towards these fighters when they lose and not be so critical, man, because you destroy their careers because they no longer want to risk. You got to award the fighter who's risking and be like, okay, he lost. Hey, but congratulations. You had a decent fight. He did good. You do that, you're encouraging the fighters to fight. Now, you say he's a bum, he sucks. And at the end of the day, nobody's fighting each other. And that's the problem. And you started that shit as a boxing fan because you pay. That's the truth. Anyway, give us a like, subscribe, and also become part of Golden Eye Boxing for news, stories, and information. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace out, and deuces cruises like they say in New Mexico.